Good morning class. So today we will be doing chapter number 8, how do organisms reproduce. So reproduction, it is no new term for you. As you have studied in smaller classes also, reproduction means to produce a new young one, to give rise to new young one of same kind as of parents. So reproduction is to produce the young ones or offsprings. This term is also very important, beta. Not only this, but this also. Offsprings of same kind. This is very important to write, of same kind. Human beings give rise to human babies, dogs to dogs, cats to cats. So for that we have to write the same kind. Alright. So when we talk about reproduction and everything, so what is the first thing that comes in our mind? That is how the children or your young ones or the offsprings, they have the same similarities, the features like their parents. How it is happening that the new young ones, they bear the same features which are there in the parents. Obviously, I have studied in the smaller classes that because of the sharing of the genetic material. That is your DNA. Deoxyribose nucleic acid. As you know, bache, when the cell divides, the nucleus of the cell also divides, and the nucleus of the cell carries the genetic material. That is your DNA. So, when we are talking about the sharing of the material, the features, the hereditary information which is going from the parent to the children, that is because of the DNA, the information is there. But here comes one question, that if the parents and the children are same, means the young ones are the exact copies of the parents, so is it not like having some problem? Means like is it possible for them to survive like throughout their life, throughout the generations, regardless of unfavorable conditions? Suppose I tell you, suppose that okay, a population is there, it is living in a normal area, it's having a normal temperature and humidity. Not an issue, they will live. But if suddenly there are drastic changes, high temperature, low humidity, so what will happen? Everyone in the population, bache, they will die. The complete population will be wiped out. Getting my point? So what happens? If the same DNA is there, copy, just exact copy is passed on, what will happen? The new young ones will also be exact same like the parents, not having any difference. So what is going on? There is no variation. So bache, this is not correct for the evolution and the survival and the ecological balance. So when the reproduction takes place, bache, DNA variation takes place. This is very important, very important. When the DNA is passed on from the parent to the children, to the young ones, but there is a slight difference in the DNA. That's why every individual is having a distinct DNA. That's why the DNA fingerprinting, when you are talking about DNA fingerprinting, that is different of everyone. 0.1% difference hota hai bache. So that difference is helping us to separate one individual from the other. Getting my point? So DNA variation is there. So suppose in a population, suppose we take the example of bacteria, Escherichia coli, E. coli. Suppose we are taking this example. Bacteria is there in a population, in a place, there is a population of bacteria. They can bear a particular temperature and humidity. Suddenly what happens? The temperature is very high and the humidity is very low. So they will not be able to bear it. So beta, mostly bacteria, they will die. But there were few, because of this DNA variation, they had this feature, their tolerance power towards the high temperature and low humidity was increased because of this DNA variation. So the complete population was not wiped out, they were left, and then they will further reproduce to give more young ones. So what happens? DNA variation is important for survival. That if variation is there, we get some little bit like different features so that we can tolerate the changes in the environment. We have some extra ability than our parents to survive in this world. Alright. So DNA variation is very, very important. There is a question coming when we talk about the CBSE board examinations. But this is quite a nice question. The why DNA variation is important. The first thing is for survival. How? You can give the example for the bacteria one. The population, the drastic changes in the environment, the unfavorable conditions. Alright. So, this was the DNA changes, DNA sharing, everything. But when we talk about reproduction, we always studied one thing. What is that thing? Reproduction is of two types. Every time when we talk about reproduction, we just say that it is of two types. Sexual and asexual, means which is not sexual. Entirely opposite of it. So, bache, sexual reproduction is that reproduction in which two parents are required, bache, male and female. But here only one parent is required. From a single parent, you will get the young ones. So obviously, you will see more variations and differences in the sexual reproduction because we are having two parents. Two parents, their features will be mixed, and the child or the young one or the progeny or the offspring, they will be having features from both the parents, mummy, papa, both the sides. But here the variation will be less. As only one parent is there, so they will be like similar, exact copies of their parents. Alright. This process, it is bit more time consuming. It is less time consuming. Like I said, exact copies. The babies will be exact copies, and here the young ones will not be. No exact copies. Alright? Getting my point? Sexual reproduction basically, we do them in the more complex organisms like plants, like us, human beings, animals. We also come under animals only. And asexual reproduction, that can be done in very cellular level organisms, very less differentiated, like your fungus, algae, alright, bacteria, amoeba. They can do this because they are not having very complex body that they will need more complex reproduction process. It is very easy process. Alright. So, two parents, one parent, more time consuming, less time consuming. The parents will have no exact copies like of their young ones, and the young ones will be exact copies over here of their parents. Alright, bache? Then, when we talk about them separately, when we talk about asexual reproduction, we will see that the sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, their types in detail, with the examples, diagrams, everything is to be done. So when we talk about asexual reproduction, beta, it is of 6 types. Alright? First type is fission. Here I will discuss a little in a short way, in a brief way, then we will discuss in more expanded version in the next class. So fission means what? It's a normal English word. Fission means breaking of something into few parts, 2 or more parts. So fission, which itself is of 2 types, beta. Binary fission and multiple fission. Then you have fragmentation. Here by the name itself we can just say that some fragments will get new individuals, new organisms, young ones. Alright. Then beta you have budding. Budding can be done beta in unicellular and multicellular both. Like unicellular example will be having of yeast and multicellular will be having of hydra. Alright. Don't worry, we'll do everything in detail. You will be getting all the concept clearance, everything will be done. Just don't worry, just wait. Alright. Budding. Then you have regeneration. Here again with the name itself we can get to know that something is regenerated. But when we regenerate something, that is because of some parts which are broken, which are distorted. Some distorted or broken parts, they are again made into something which they were earlier. So that is regeneration. Just a simple English word. Then you have spore formation. From the spores, like seeds are there, but with the spores will be making the new organism. And the sixth type is vegetative propagation, where new young ones are born by the vegetative parts, not the seeds, but the parts. Alright. So students, if you did get the concept, if you understood the concept, do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.